So Virgo, let us look at the tarot energy that is coming your way this month. I have shuffled a bit before, and this will just add to that shuffle. And we can select some cards for you. This will be for your primary energy, and you have the Page of Pentacles upright. And for your opportunity, you have the High Priestess reversed. And for your challenge, you have the King of Swords reversed. And for your rising energy, you have the Knight of Cups upright. And for your outcome, you have the Knight of Swords upright. So it looks like things are going to take off towards the end of the month, I would think. So the primary energy that you should be concentrating on is the Page of Pentacles. Now, the Page of Pentacles is someone who is committed to learning new things, to be curious, but also practical at the same time. So there's not the flightiness of a youth that is just running around looking for whatever's out there. There is curiosity, but it has some depth, it has some practical meaning. So if you can learn something new that will be good for you and can lead to more success even over the long term, this is a really good energy for you. Now, the opportunity is the High Priestess, but she came in reverse. Now, interestingly enough, when you couple that with the Page of Pentacles, Pentacles are very, very practical, and the High Priestess is very intuitive. Now, some people would say that intuition is not practical, but in actuality it is. It can be very helpful and very practical. So maybe this Page of Pentacles energy needs to be more open to intuition. And that would add to the curiosity and the learning that is coming his way. And next, the challenge is the King of Swords. And again, this was reversed. So the King of Swords reversed is not as practical and as rational. He would be more leaning towards that High Priestess energy of maybe leaning a little bit more towards the intuition and the feelings and things of that nature. So don't just be looking for the intuition. Be willing to mix those two together, because if you can move towards the practicality of the King of Swords and blend it a little bit with the with the High Priestess, you can have a very powerful combination. And then when we look to the energy that is rising up, we have the Knight of Cups, and that represents there may be a very nice opportunity on the emotional level, maybe a nice little adventure that could come your way, maybe a little bit of travel. Maybe you're going to do something that would really make you feel very good inside. It would make your heartstrings make a nice sound because there's a little romance perhaps in the air. And then we finish up with an outcome that the Knight of Swords. Now, as we look at the Knight of Swords, we can see that he is much more dynamic and he's much faster moving. I mean, just look at the difference between the Knight of Cups, who is just sitting there holding a cup up, and then we have the Knight of Swords, which is galloping almost on a horse. So there could be some very quick changes or possibilities as we go towards the end of the month, maybe some travel, a good vacation, but be ready to make changes if opportunities come your way. Virgo, as you can see, there is a lot of astrological energy going around in your chart, and it will be affecting you in many different ways. The first thing that I want to talk about is that there is a full moon, and the moon will be in your 6th house, and that's the house of health, work, and daily routines. So you need to be willing to make positive changes to your daily routine. You need to watch your diet. You need to do some exercise, improve your work conditions if you can, and complete important projects. But remember that since the sun is over in the 12th house, this is the house of spirituality, you may need to take some downtime to regenerate your inner energy and your spiritual energy. Now, at the same time, there is a Mercury opposition to Pluto, and Mercury is the planet of communication. So there can be some snafus with communications, especially when it deals with your work or your daily routine, your travel routine, the way you go to work and things of that nature. So you do have to be a little careful with that. Now, this is the prime example of the old saying, trust but verify. So there could be a little bit of manipulation going around or false promises being made. So you do have to be a little careful with that, especially at work. And do remember to keep your secrets, and this is the house of secrets, keep them secret. Now, there is also going to be an opposition between Mars, and he is the god of war, and Saturn and Neptune. Now, this is in the 8th house of dealing with other people's resources or how you share energy with others. And Mars is in your 2nd house, and that is your own personal resources. So when you're dealing with money and energy that you share with others, you do have to be a little bit careful with any type of conflicts, especially comparing what you desire and maybe what other people are expressing themselves. So you do have to be a little bit careful, especially in money and in investments, with fraud and deception. You may have to be careful also not to come into conflict with authority figures or even people who might be acting a little bit too stubborn and dictatorial. Now remember this, Mars is action, Saturn is stop. So there could be some frustration in the air. And frustration can lead to anger. And anger can lead to legal issues, so do be a little bit careful. Now, it's all not doom and gloom, because there's a wonderful, beautiful aspect right up here in your 11th house with Venus and Jupiter conjunct in Cancer. And this is a fabulous energy. It restores optimism and good feelings. It brings kindness and generosity. And this is a very good time for you to be social, to meet new people, to follow your inspiration and your creativity. The only negative here might be too much of a good thing. It can be a bad thing. So do control your overindulgences. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. And if you would, I'd appreciate if you'd hit the like button under my video and share them with your friends, because it's free. And also, if you would like to order your own private psychic and spiritual reading, or natal or transit astrology chart, and the transit chart is for the year to come, you can go to my website, professorastrology.com, and you'll find a link on the top right-hand side of the website for psychic and spiritual readings. And all you have to do is hit the link, go to that page, and it'll explain how you can order your own private reading or personal astrology chart. And again, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous month.